What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, reductionagency.com, urban-picker.com. 23 years selling full-time on eBay, and next month will be year 24. Begins August 24th or something like that, I believe, is when I started. It was like a couple of weeks before 9/11. And I remember being freaked out, going, uh-oh, what the hell's going to happen, right? You just start a business of your dreams, and then 2 weeks later, you get the biggest tragedy attack on the United States. Um, it makes you wonder what's going to happen. But yeah, we're headed into year 24 here soon, and I getting into now today. I want to look back at June's numbers, see where everything kind of landed, see what's going on, and do my numbers and see, has AI increased my CD sales, because that's what I've done the majority of, and how many I've listed and things like that. So I kind of want to just look at all the numbers, get them in my head as I'm heading into July, and see if we can keep that upward trend going. So I'm going to shrink me down super small. Honey, I shrunk the reseller. Alrighty. Let's go. We're in the media store first. So hit sales. We're going to hit last month. I'm going to hit just the US site first. And then I'm going to click on the international sites to see what we've sold internationally. 860 to 371. So $510 roughly on the international eBay sites, which is kind of crappy compared to what it used to be. But I think a lot of that has to do with the problems with eBay and things kind of being offline, the server and stuff. It feels like that the last things that index back and is shown to people are the international stuff, the stuff farther away. That's just my theory, because it seems like with all the site maintenance and updates and issues, that the international's been hit hardest. But and this is even before the tariffs, so I don't even know what the tariff state is right now. But even before that, it's played that. So yeah, so we're just dealing with that as we do it. I sometimes sit there and go, is it worth it? Is it worth having, this camera's going to go crazy again today. Is it worth having those on there? Because it slows down my ending and selling similar. But other than that, it's just extra money, right? So of course I'm going to keep it. So $500 is $500. That's $6,000 at the end of the year. Who doesn't like a $6,000 extra pay at the end of the year, right? So it's just the way I kind of look at things. So last month in the media store, $14,372. All right, that's up 14.6%, so that's a positive. June was better than May. Net sales, $5,950. So that's about 12, so that's about right with take the taxes out that eBay collects, and then about 50% type of thing. So I'll see what that exact number it was for the month. Hopefully it was 50 and under, but I got a feeling it's probably going to be about 52. And before I would have a problem with 52. Right now I'm going to be okay with 52, just because I'm able to put so much more up now. I can get more listed. So I'm taking my volume game is going up a level. So like even on these this weekend with Pee Wee and speaking of, okay, I see him dealing with that, and I've been just my concern is him this weekend, so keeping an eye on him. And I didn't get much listed. I didn't get much. Let's just say this: I didn't get much time into listing. How about that's a better way of putting it? Where if this would have happened before AI, there would have been days where I maybe got 10 up, if any, just because my head was elsewhere. I was doing other things, but I was getting about I think I averaged about 50 a day. So for me, that's low, but with AI and even, you know, I was gonna say it's kind of low before AI, but it's so much easier because all I had to do was put in like a half hour to do the 50, get it done, and get back to what I was doing. And a lot of it was, no sleep and fatigue and stuff like that on top of it too. My head just wasn't in the game, dealing with all that. So 1,169 items sold. That was up 3.1% there. Average sale price per item in the media store, $12.29. That's up 11%. One-time buyers, up 9.4%. Repeat buyers up 24%. So, and let me see my percentage before we look at the other stuff. 52% even. So, right where I kind of figured it was going to pan out. And this too includes my off-site promotions. I promote off-site eBay, which is like $12 a day. So that's included in there too. That's what's kind of pushed it over the 50% mark, along with the fact that more promoted are selling now as opposed to organic, because that's the way eBay's setting everything up. Top 5 items in the music store, the media store, last month. We had action figure toys coming in at number 5, $422. That's up 335%. Coming in at number 4, we got video games, $424. That's up 73%. Vinyl records, number 3. So we got the typical number 3, or typical top 3, I should say. Vinyl records, number 3 at $1,597. That's down 2.7%. I haven't put much vinyl up. I have a lot sitting here under my feet, actually, that I need to get listed. Music cassettes, number 2, $2,176. That's down 11.5%. Just this past week, I started including cassettes into my listing for List Easier. So hopefully we'll start getting that number to rise too for next month. For this month, I should say. And then number 1, music CDs. So this is the category I wanted to look at because this is what 99% of what I'm listing right now. And that's $6,806, up 33.1% in CDs. So happy that it went up. Even with all the eBay issues, it's about just fighting through them, right? And just pounding through every day. And at least for me, speaking for me, pounding through every day is just getting as much done as I can, as much listed as I can, because that's just more opportunity for more sales. Like I said before, some people like to look at listing more in the future with AI and stuff as going to be watering down eBay or race to the bottom eBay. I'm looking at it as if how many sales am I missing because I don't have more stuff up. So I look at the positive side of things. I think one thing I try not to be, and it's very easy to do, and I see a lot of resellers on YouTube do it. They think very small, and I don't mean that as any kind of offense, anything, because it's very easy to do. If you think small, thinking small is because you're thinking more like yourself, right? You're not trying to, not necessarily thinking there are billions of people and every person thinks different. So that's a billion different ideas, right? That's the way I kind of feel. Where if you think smaller, you're thinking because you do something that the majority does something, right? So that's what I mean when thinking small. Like the comment that fits that the most. I can't think of the word I was looking for. That fits that thought process the most is when people say people are sleeping overnight. Of course, you're not going to get no overnight sales. That to me is the quintessential small thinking, because you're not understanding just because you sleep at night doesn't mean everybody sleeps at night. So, especially across the entire world, because it's nighttime right now in the daytime elsewhere. So, and then nighttime here, it's daytime there. So that's what I mean by small thinking, not seeing the bigger picture. And so I see AI as increasing sales because you don't know how many people are not finding the items. And, say there's 2 items out there, but there's 3 people looking for it, right? 2 sell, and no, I'm thinking rare independent music right now because that's what I do the most, So, but that could fall into other things too, like my hats. I may be the only person out there with a certain hat because I'll list any hat. So that's just the way I look at things, and my part of my business model and the way I do things, right? So, like I said, it doesn't fit everybody. I'm just sharing with you the things I do. Honorable mention over here, number 6, is DVDs and Blu-rays, $411, down 6.7%. That's another one I should be working on here soon to try to get those numbers up. But I haven't really come across the DVDs yet in storage. I'm at the CDs and cassette stacks right now. I do have DVDs in there somewhere. But I think when I put them in, at least this one storage unit, my garage, I kind of placed them together. So I will eventually get to some stacks of CDs or DVDs to list. So 8-Track's coming in after that at $360, up 72% there. So that's nice to see, because I haven't put 8-Tracks up in a long time. I might put a couple up here and there, but really nothing. So it's nice to see those still climbing. So that's good to see. All right, we got our number there, up 14.6%. So we're going to go over here to the clothing store last month. And we don't have web interpret set up over here, but maybe I should. So over here in the clothing store, $8,778. 8778.49. That's up 6.5% from last. Sorry, I goofed up. I put last month. Yeah, duh. That is last month. Never mind. Stop it, James. So up 6.5% from last month. So both stores are up from last month. Net sales $3,544, up 1.5% there. I'm probably going to have about a 52% over here also, so we're going to check that out and see. 496 items sold, up 3.1%. Average sale price per item, $17.70, up 3.3%. So everything number-wise on both stores have been up for June over May. Boom, boom. The thing I don't like here is total sales up 6.5, yet net sales only up 1.5. So that means more fees are being taken out over here for somehow, some reason, some way. So where are those going? Now I'm kind of scared to see the percentage. See, I was hoping, being that my average price per item over here is larger, that my percentage would be lower. So let's see what it is. Total number of buyers, 454, up 10%. One-time buyers, up 9.4%. Repeat buyers, up 43%. So, yeah. That's nice to see. The repeat buyers up that far over here. Percentage wise, yo, 54%. Come on now. Oh, that sucks so bad. That's not good. Oh, man. Why does it say all my sales are promoted? Or is that, oh, that's just total. Also, okay, here it is. Promoted sales 6,500, organic sales 2,200. So I'm running a 75-25 split, when before I would run closer to a 70-30 split. So the way eBay's changing, that number is just going to keep increasing, which is going to keep this number increasing, which is going to put more money in eBay's pocket and less money in our pocket. So to run 75-25 instead of 70-30, that's the difference right there. I don't like that. What's going to happen, what's going to make me do is lower my percentage for promotion. That's what eBay's going to push me to do. Because I don't want to be over 50%, and I don't mind 52 if I'm able to list more. But over here, I'm not listing more right now. So I'm not okay with 54% out of the store. Not at all. And I'm not doing offsite over here because it doesn't work for the clothing and hats. It does for the media. That store works. I make money doing the offsite. It's not worth it over here for the conversion and the return on ad spend. So I turned it off and stopped using it over here. So I don't like that. Don't like that at all. So I'll give it one more month the way it is. And if that number is that high next month, then I'm definitely going to make some drastic change over here. Because I know some of the problems this past month were in the promoted field and the organic field, because there were some days where I only had 2 organics and everything else was promoted. So I'll give it one more month, but if the numbers are that high, I'm going to lower I do 13% across the board on everything. So this store, I'll lower to 11%, 10% if I have to. Top 5 items over here for last month. Coming in at number 5, we got women's hats, $241, down 27%. We got men's shoes at number 4 at $359, up 106%. So I put up a lot of shoes. Not a lot, but a good amount of shoes compared to what I normally put up. And I know shoes are a pretty steady income, so I need just to really start focusing in on making sure I get all the shoes that I have listed. Those are a little iffier with AI, just because it doesn't always know the exact title of the shoe, what it's called. It may look like another version of a shoe, so it might call a Nike, like what's his name, Paul somebody, and call it an SB instead. And so there's just different variations. So some of the Adidas will look a little bit alike, it'll name it wrong. So you just got to pay attention to those, just by typing the number off the tag and getting the actual number, making sure that it's right. But coming in at number 3, we got Major League Baseball, $629. That's down 11%. T-shirts, men's T-shirts at number 2 at $699. That's down 11%. And then number 1, of course, men's hats, $3,719. That's up 29%. And I did more in hats than I did. No, I didn't. I was thinking I did less than. CDs are still number 1. Hats are still number 2. All right. Cassettes are still number 3. Records are still number 4. Men's t-shirts are number 5. So that's been the way it's been for a very long time. So I've always tried to think like what could be the next thing I could put into that top list to challenge the top 3, top 4, the top 5 items. So not happy with that number. But that is a total of $23,150 for the month of June. Net sales in the account 3543.66 plus 5950.66 equals $9,494 in the pocket for the month. And as you know, my expenses are pretty much everything that is a daily expense for a normal person working any other job, except for my 2 storage lockers. So you take out the $800 for the storage lockers, and I didn't do that right. $8,686, and that's my payroll and the business bills like the cell phones, the internet connection, all that stuff. So stuff that a normal person would have anyway. So next up, let me clear my throat. Let me see where my numbers listed are today. Okay, we gotta take this down to, US only. Because the stuff on the international websites are just duplicates of what's on the US site. So in the media store, 61,068 items listed. And in the clothing store, 21,043. So a total of 82,111 items listed. Today's July 1st. And I am going to do my math first when I started doing this on October 27th, where I wanted to keep track of how many I could list in 2025. And my original goal was to add 24,000 items to my store in the rest of this year. Of course, now I'd like that to be higher, being I'm using AI. So that means I am up 5,266 items since I started to that 24,000 goal. But since I started using AI, 82111, I am up 2,221 items I've listed. Not that I've listed more, but 2,221 items growth in my store since June 10th, the start of using AI to help me out. And that's already double my usual growth before using AI. So in just two-thirds of the month. So does that mean this month I should 3 times that? I would like to go for a little bit more than 3 times. Hopefully I've got less distractions this month and I can really focus in and really hammer down and get some stuff done. But also I'd really like to get out and start exercising again. So I was going to go the other day, and then that day is when Pee-wee had a seizure, and I'm like, Well, there goes the start of that. So, yeah, so that's where we are for June. So, up across the board. So, can't complain about that, I guess. May was pretty low, so I was hoping to be up from May compared. So, we'll see where July takes us, and I'm going to just keep listing away, and hopefully sales will grow along with it. So, I think that's it, right? I think today's sales kind of slowed down. 276 plus 3, so we're about $600. But I've been at for the last hour. I was over 5 at 5, so it kind of slowed down in the evening. Done most of it before like 3 o'clock. So I had 400 at 2 o'clock, my halfway point. Because then I was saying, okay, it should be about an $800 day. So we're at 600 at 637. So still could be an $800 day. So looks like that's about what we're on track for. So hopefully it'll make it. So hopefully we'll go past that. But I'm getting back to listing now. And today, right now, I haven't got much done today compared. I got 101 items listed so far. But I've been taking Pee Wee out a lot and Courtney and brushing them and just giving them attention and stuff. Just keeping an eye on them. So, but I'm more focused today than I was. So that's good. So just getting back into the groove. So, and of course, I'm not totally 100% feeling tired and such. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get all that back. So, all right, I'm gonna try get this up to 200 before the day's over with for me. Because Jan's off and Jan should be home in about an hour. Then maybe I can go do some exercise. So see how much I can get up in the next hour, and then maybe get out and do a walk. And she can watch Pee Wee. So all right, that's all for me. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.